Hey, welcome back to the Always Closing Podcast. This is episode 2, and today I got a very special guest, Cristian Palacios here. Welcome, Cristian. Thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you for having me, man. What's going on?
So as you guys know, I'm always trying to interview the best in the industry, and Cristian is definitely well known out here in the Coachella Valley area, so I wanted to come out here and interview him. We've been working together for quite a few years. So again, thanks for doing this.
No, thank you. So what do we got?
So, well, let's just start off by you maybe just telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
Tell us about your background. How did you get into real estate? Did you always want to be a realtor? That sort of thing.
Okay. Needless to say, I'm already in here for the last 5 years. So
yeah,
I know it's been quite a long journey, but I didn't really start in real estate. I mean, the first 5 years of my career, I actually ran an insurance agency. Mm-hmm. Then I was into the banking industry.
Really?
I really love working at the bank. I felt like that's where I belong. And I thought that's where I was going to retire.
Yeah.
Things completely played out a different way. Here we are. And real estate was actually by mistake. A great friend of the family he called and said, hey, you know what? I'm in need of an assistant or somebody that can run the operations within my real estate organization. I live in the Coachella Valley. His main office was at that moment in Riverside, which for me was at least a drive.
Yeah.
At least an hour drive.
That's a far drive.
On a daily.
I know because I drove out here right now.
It's
so
like
it's far, yeah.
It is, man. So
it's crazy to think that you did that every day.
Yeah, so he calls me up. He's like, I need somebody. And I thought it was going to be like, I'll kind of manage from out here and help you out there. He's like, come and see me. I'm like, okay. We just kind of took off from there. So real estate began as a learning experience. I was basically assisting the whole operation. He had a few agents that he was working with. I would see checks on a daily that would, amount to ridiculous amounts. And I didn't see that a possibility ever in my life.
Right.
But then, as the months kind of progressed.
And you were just working as an assistant at that time?
Yes, I was just helping him out with everything he would ask, operations implied helping the agents set up their appointments, making callbacks, figuring out all their schedules and all of that good stuff. I mean, as an agent, we get pretty busy. So I was managing all of this and that. About 5-6 months in, he tells me, why don't you just join me, man, become a realtor. A few months after, we were expecting our first child. So that just dramatically changed my life. I figured that it was just the way to go. So
yeah,
I really fell in love with the way that, a realtor becomes part of the overall progress in a family. Some people see it as a dream that'll probably never come true.
Right.
So when I started experiencing that through the agency, I figured, wow, what a way to make an impact. And it wasn't until I actually wanted to get my first house that I realized that there is a lack of professionalism in the business. And I figured, you know what, we really got to do better by our people. And that's where I decided to go all in. And this was 4 years ago.
Yeah, and that's about the time I met you, right?
Yes.
I think maybe one of your first listings was out. It was always out here, though, right? A lot of your listings were always out here, even though you were working out of
Well, actually,
Riverside?
I started working in Riverside. That was my hometown. It was Riverside, Moreno Valley, Paris. My very first client was in Paris.
Okay.
So that's the town that really, got me involved in real estate. And then I came back to the Valley within about a year after. So I did the drive. I put in about 60,000 miles that year.
That's a crazy drive.
But that's my humbling beginning, man, as a realtor. It's not easy at the beginning.
You got to do what you got to do, right, at the beginning. When I first got into marketing, my first job was in West LA. And I used to drive from Diamond Bar to Century City every day in LA traffic. So I think it was 2 hours each way. And I did that for about a year and a half also.
Wow.
And pretty much the reason I left that company was just because of the drive. I just couldn't handle it anymore. I was like, dude, it was just so being 4 hours in the car every day, like you get home and you're just done. You're just like, you don't want to do anything, you know, you don't have time to like work out or just do anything else, you know, it's just like, I'm just done, you know?
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, I tell people I would leave the house at 8 a.m. and then I would come back to the house at 8 p.m. It was a 12-hour thing because it'd be an hour drive, an hour back, and traffic would just not be helping out, you know?
Right.
But yeah, that's my beginning. Here we are now, 5 years later.
And look at you now, man. I mean, like, he's one of the very few realtors that he doesn't call me like saying I have a listing, like, you know, let's work together on this. It's like I got 3 listings, you know, like at the same time. So that's like, and that's like a normal thing with him. So I mean, congratulations on all your success. You know, I guess you've came a very long way in just 4 or 5 years. It's a short career, really.
Thank you, man.
Where you're at now.
Thank you. But yeah, that's where we're at. It's been quite a journey now.
So why do they call you the people's realtor? I mean, I feel like you've kind of earned that title, you know, because I know the way you are with your clients.
Yeah. So
but why don't you explain that a little bit?
It all started with it was actually my first transaction in Paris, that I was very involved with this family that, you know, it was a Hispanic family, and they saw the ultimate dream of, you know, owning a property. And needless to say, they were qualified, they were ready to go. We were searching for properties. We were kind of all in trying to figure it out. And it came down to about $1,000 difference in the price point. Like the seller just couldn't come in to meet the buyer needs and all of that good stuff. And I simply said, all right, we'll just take it from my check. You know, it was my very first check that I was focusing on, like, okay, helping the family. At this point, I was like,
I just want to get one.
Yeah, like I don't care. I really don't care the finances of it. Like I've worked so hard for them. Like, why is $1,000 making the difference?
Yeah.
So, you know, I come over to the family and I explain to them, like, look, the $1,000, it's been dealt with, you know, it's going to come out of my pocket. So they were just in shock. The son, I remember him, his name is Caesar. And he goes like, oh my God, like you act like if you're the people's realtor, like you're acting like if you belong to the people and you're trying, like, so that kind of started something there. And then I did get a few referrals, and he would say, hey, you know, this guy's the people's realtor, like he'll really help you out. And then from there, it just kind of took off. I just kind of adapted to it. And I said, all right, well, I'll just, you know, put it on my marketing that I'm the people's realtor. So
yeah,
that's how
it stuck.
It's been out. It's been out for a while. And I guess I've lived up to the expectation of it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I see it, which even like leads me to like my next question is like a lot of times, and I feel like this is a normal thing with you. Like a lot of stuff comes out of your own pocket, you know, like, I always hear you say like, oh yeah, like I'm covering them on this or I'm doing that. Like you really, really go out of your way for your clients, you know, even if it comes out of your pocket.
You know, man, it really brings me back to like my beginnings, man. And ultimately, a lot of people see it as a dream. And I feel like the generosity of doing something, like, you know how they say like a domino effect? Yeah, that might trickle down. Like if you do something nice, it, like, you know, there's a way in the world that just
comes back to you.
Exactly. So there's been times that, you know, I've simply put it in my mind, like, okay, and I've always said this, save the client at the deal. So it's always about the client, no matter how the commission is going to play out. And ultimately, that's how I'm driven, you know. So yeah, I reimbursed inspections. I've reimbursed appraisal fees. I've paid so many times to clean a house for a first-time buyer because it's just like, you know, it's the first impression coming to, you know, this dream became a reality, and yet, you know,
and I'm sure a lot of that has turned into like a bunch of referral business, right? I mean, like how much of your business is referral business? I'm gonna far-fetch here on a number, but I would say 60 to 70% of my business is referral based. So it's helped me grow. It does. Came back around. You know what I mean?
It does. It helps me grow because I'm always looking forward to the next family being helped rather than the next paycheck. So that's the way I see it, and it's helped me grow so much. So that's awesome. That's what I do, man. I don't want that to I don't want little things to get in between you and your dream, basically, as a family.
Right.
So what else you got, man? I like it so far.
Tell us a little bit about Coachella Vista Realty, which is now Century 21, right? Here.
Yeah.
How has like this company contributed to your success? What do you like about being with this brokerage? Tell us a little bit about it here.
Gotcha. Well, you know, after a year being out of town, so this is going to be my 4th year here at Coachella Vista Realty, which is now, we've become Century 21, like you're saying, and it's Coachella Valley Realty. The way that the brokerage has really helped me grow, it's not, I'm not going to say it's been like the training or structure or all of this or that about a brokerage. In all honesty, it's just the ability to allow me to be myself. You know, it started as a boutique brokerage that has just given me wings, man. It gives me the freedom to work ethically and the way that I want to work with my people. So that's the biggest thing for me, you know, individuality, you might call it.
Right.
So they just give me the freedom to give them the structure of, okay, this is how I'm going to work with my clients. And they're like, go ahead, you know. So and it's played out really great, you know, because I work very differently than what other brokerages will feel like. It's by the book, you know. And every family, it's very different. You can't have a rule book of just one way of working.
Yeah, and you kind of got your whole formula kind of figured out, right? So it's kind of like you just want to do your own thing.
Well, you know, systematically, I mean, I don't call it a formula, but systematically, I already have it kind of dialed in, right? Where it's like meet and greet, and then from there on, like goal driven, trying to figure out what the family is in need of. So I always put myself in the position of where do I fit in your needs, you know, so I could go from there and make a goal plan. But yeah, I mean, Coachella Vista Realty has been great to me. All in all, Moses as the broker, he's always really, you know, triggering better ideas, different ways for me to develop. So that's why I'm still here, man. So
I know you haven't had as much time for this recently, but I remember like last year or before, you used to go heavy on the social media videos, right? I mean, you like post like every day. I mean, you still kind of do that, but I feel like you did a lot more videos, right? Like structured videos before. How did those help you to get where you're at now? And
you know what?
Are you gonna plan on starting them again?
You know, social media. I mean, I have so much to be thankful for, not because of the platform itself, but because the ability to connect with people that maybe are on a day-to-day life and we never get to link up or, you know. So yeah, I know Facebook, it all really depends on how people see it, but to me, Facebook and Instagram have been by far the greatest asset on my toolbox, mainly because it allows me to reach people. The biggest thing though is that nowadays we live in an informative driven world where everything is at your fingertips. Right. So it's hard to really, and that's kind of the reason the last year or so, maybe I haven't been as involved. So a lot of people, it's so easy to just, you know, find something out about the process of home ownership or trying to get a loan and stuff like that. But there is so much misinformation or misguidance that I hate myself for not having the ability to go back to social media. Right. Because I always like to be very like blunt or honest about the process of ownership. Mm-hmm. And sometimes a lot of people would, you know, put it in a different angle to just generate leads or bring in people to want to, you know, towards the process of home ownership. Right. But social media, man, all in all, I'm so thankful that I've reached so many people out there that I haven't been even able to meet sometimes, you know, on a daily basis. But yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of getting back to it and giving back to the community. There are so many things that I do, man, that I don't even post. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we did a career fair down the street at one of the local high schools. Nice. It's like we've done, you know, different events that I don't even post them and I strongly feel that it's just my inability to really, you know, I guess, how can I put it? I have to always either sacrifice one thing or another. And I feel like to me, the client means the world. Like if I'm out showing properties, I don't want to be like on my phone, like, oh, let me, you know,
Your attention's focused on them.
Yes, I want to focus on their need at the moment rather than me be like posting something.
Right.
So that, I mean, it's changed, but it's helped me too, because, you know, people see that when I'm out there and people notice that I'm focused on them.
Right.
They definitely referred out. So even if you don't see me on social media, well, the business still going, man. We're still here.
That's right. Were you comfortable in front of the camera always, or was it something that you got used to? Because I figure like a lot of realtors out there, people that watch this, like they want to do it, but it takes a lot to just take that first step and just start doing it. Right?
You know, at the beginning, it was really hard for me because I had never been that. I mean, the attention hadn't been on me that way. Right. I mean, I can meet a client and do what I call my informative meeting and go lay it all out for them. But in front of a camera, it's a little different. Mm-hmm. Simply because, you know, the person on the other side of the screen might have a very different opinion, or they just feel different about you.
Right.
So I'm always thinking about like, how can I better that, I guess. But yeah,
you can't, right? I mean, you can't please everybody.
That's a good point.
There's always going to be somebody that has something to say, but
that's a good point. And it's true. It's true. At the end of the day, like it's hard to be in front of a camera.
Yeah.
But I think it's harder not to be, because, you know, I can't be a secret agent. I got to let people know exactly what I do and why I do it.
Yeah.
And then we just go from there.
And for people who are scared to do it, I mean, I always tell people, it's like, I forgot where I heard this, but it's like, well, your bad video may be better than whoever's saying something like their non-existent video, right? I mean, like, so it's easy to say something if you're not doing it yourself, right? So most people that are like taking the initiative to try to get out there, get in front of the camera, post stuff, normally those people aren't the ones that say anything, right?
Well, I was going through what you our YouTube videos, and you literally did the first professional video 4 years ago, man.
Yeah.
And I remember that day like if it was yesterday. You know, you put in all the cameras on me and the lighting, and I think we did maybe 30 minutes for a 2-minute video.
Yeah.
You know, just going over and over, repetition. And I think that's what made me comfortable, man.
Yeah.
The fact
and that now when we do stuff, you're like one take. You're like, boom, let's go. Like,
I mean, I just believe in, I think, what is it called? Unscripted, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Unscripted? There you go. Unscripted. I just feel like
just off the dome, like
that's where that's where it should be the most natural, you know.
Yeah.
Because
that's what I always tell people. Like, if you're trying to remember lines and stuff, like, it's not gonna come out natural. It's gonna sound like you're trying to remember lines, you know.
Like, let me see what I wrote here. No, I hear you, man. But yeah, I mean, whoever's having issues with that, I just do it, man. You know, a live video always really helps.
Yeah. Because
it shows you that there is no second take. Just kind of be yourself at the moment and let it be.
Yeah.
So, what else you got, man? Good question so far.
Just how do you like just working just in general in this area? Like, I don't work with a lot of people this way, you know, like maybe just you and like one other person. But like, what makes it great out here in the Coachella Valley? I mean, I've seen all the different neighborhoods, and they're really nice areas around here, you know? So like, do you like working out here? What do you like about it out here in this area?
I love it. I mean, I love the Coachella Valley overall. I mean, this is my hometown, and ultimately what you're saying, it technically becomes one thing overall, and that's the relationships that you're able to build in the valley. Like, even though you might see a lot of cities,
right,
we're all very involved as agents and as clients, where it's just this one big small town where, you know, the valley is, I always say the valley is small, you know, because we all kind of know each other.
Yeah.
So that,
even though it's massive.
Yeah. so that's
sometimes like I'll meet you at a listing or something, and it's like it took me the same amount of time it took you to get there, and you live out here. You know?
So I think overall the reason I like the valley the most, it's because the diversity in people. I mean, you can go as down to Swansea, which is, you know, far east in the valley, and have a vacant lot for $6,000. And then you can go all the way up to maybe Rancho Mirage or Palm Desert area, where that same square footage could transfer out to 250,000. So it's just so diversified that the opportunities are endless.
Yeah.
It's really out there for you to make the connection with people. And here in town, everybody goes by reputation a lot. I'm sure, I don't know how other cities work, but it's so small that your reputation kind of, will follow you wherever you go out here. So I love that about the Valley.
Yeah.
So
speaking of out here, what do you think about this new Disney project that they're talking about out here? So they're gonna call it Cotino, right?
Yeah, Cotino and Rancho Mirage coming up. They actually just started the development there.
So it's not like a proposed plan; it's like already underway.
They're saying, to what I understand, they're saying within the next 6 to 8 months it'll be kind of leveled out, and progress will begin within the next year and a half. 2 years. I like what I hear so far about the development. I always like to see big companies come and kind of take over and figure out something for the Valley, because it puts us on the map overall.
That's huge. I mean, who doesn't know Disney?
There you go.
Right.
So to me, honestly, the biggest thing, and I'm a people's person, and I'm all about community. Mm-hmm. So as long as like the jobs and the revenue stays within the Valley, I would love to see that. What it doesn't make me any happier than knowing that there's new opportunities, especially career wise, whether it be the construction, whether it be on the touristic side of cleaning and all of that good stuff for the development. And then that would make me happy to know, man, that it stayed within the Valley.
For sure. Hopefully that turns into something cool that we could all go check out soon.
Well, not only that, but I mean, tourists, people from out of town coming in, looking forward to that. It'll bring a lot of attention, more than we already have with the Coachella Fest just around the corner in a month or so.
Or just even the whole Palm Springs area. There's people that's like a weekend thing now, it always has been, but I feel like even more now, just like a normal thing. They're starting to have even festivals there now too. There was one, I think, at the airport or the Airship Museum or something.
Yeah,
they just had one there. Like I had some friends that went to that.
Yeah, we have a year-round schedule all throughout the Valley. And it used to be where Saturdays and Sundays you would kind of take off, and it would be a nice ride out of town, maybe San Diego or LA. Right. And now if you're trying to get out of here on a Sunday, like you're stuck in traffic for a while.
Yeah, right there by the casino, it backs up.
And that goes to show you the amount of people that are coming over to the Valley, which is a great thing, man.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what else you got?
Just in general, just kind of wrapping it up a little bit, what tips do you have for maybe new agents or some agents that are struggling out there and looking for new ways to attract new business? What are some tips that you can
Got it. I think for new agents, in all honesty, I would highly advise for them to interview different brokerages. And I strongly believe that a team makes a difference. If you're trying to be a lone wolf or all alone on your own thing, you're not going to learn much, and you're not going to be driven to do something great. Or, it takes a lot of people to really kind of figure out how you want to play out in the business and how you want to execute everything you do. So for new agents, highly advised to interview different brokerages, as small as or big as they are. Try to figure out where they feel like they belong. That's the biggest thing. You got to feel like you belong in order to really expand everything that you have for this business. And then for struggling agents, we've all struggled before at some point. I have my great months, I have my bad months. It's really consistency. I always say 50% of the time, as long as you show up to where you got to be, whether it be at the office, whether it be at open houses, training, 50% of the time you just got to be there in order to learn. You can't be from home. You cannot let the community not know that this is what you're doing, this is your livelihood, Right. I don't think I've ever been asked if I'm a part-time or if, I have another job, because people see it. It's like Monday through Sunday, man. My schedule, it's all about my clients. That would be the best tip for anybody struggling right now. Cool. Just got to show up, man. Just got to show up, and it'll go from there.
Some great advice. So that pretty much wraps it up, the questions I had for you. So thanks again. I appreciate it. Where can anybody get a hold of you or maybe follow you online?
Best way to smoke signals would work out. No, man, you can, I have a Facebook page, is The People's Realtor. You can just look me up with my name, Cristian Palacios on Facebook. Okay. I am Realtor-Christian on Instagram. TikTok is coming up out of nowhere. It's a massive.
You get into the TikTok game.
It's a, I'm trying not to, but ultimately it'll pull me in. I feel like that's just the way to do it.
That's the way the attention.
But you'll know you're there to entertain most of the time, and I'm really trying to be there to inform.
Right.
So, but yeah, you can reach me at those, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna. Hashtag here or there.
Yeah, I'll tag you.
You'll have your ways. But yeah, man, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And we're actually on our way to one of his listings right now, right after this.
2 of them. We'll make that 2.
Yeah, or 2 of them, like I said earlier. Right? All right, Cristian, appreciate it. And thanks for everybody who's watching this. Until the next one.
All right, man. Well, thank you. Have a good one, guys. Take care.